Right, so Jets fans, we got to talk about this win.
Oh, yeah.
8-3 against the Sharks. Are you kidding me?
That's a walloping.
We've got the Sportskeeda article pulled up here, breaking down all the details of the game, so
Yeah.
let's dive into it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty dominant performance. You got to think about it, right? The Sharks, they're at the bottom of the standings, still haven't even won a game this season. So for the Jets to come out and really just lay down the law like that early in the season, it's impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, you want to build that momentum early on, and this win, I think it definitely does that.
For sure.
And speaking of capitalizing, can we talk about the power play for a sec?
Oh, yeah.
4 goals.
Yeah.
Every time the Sharks had a man in the box, it felt like an automatic goal.
It's interesting, right? Because what we're seeing here, it seems like a one-off, right? But the Jets, they actually have, like, the second best power play right now in the entire NHL.
Oh, wow. I did not realize that.
Yeah, so it's not just a fluke. This is something they're consistently able to generate. So it'll be interesting to see how that's maintained.
Yeah, if they can keep that up, that's huge. What do you think is contributing to it? Is the strategy? Is it the specific players they have out there? What's clicking?
Well, I think it's probably a few things. I mean, they've got some really good offensive talent. The puck movement is really excellent. They're creating space, and they're just not afraid to shoot the puck.
And when they shoot, it goes in. But speaking of scoring, it wasn't just like the usual suspects, putting up points this game. We saw 10 different Jets players on the score sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So this wasn't just one guy having a career night. This was a total team effort.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what makes a team dangerous, is when you don't know where the scoring is going to come from. Pionk, Nemesnikov, Perfetti, all having a great game. It's got to be demoralizing for the other team. You can't just, try and shut down one guy, because someone else is gonna make you pay.
Yeah, it's like, who are you going to focus on? You can't shut them all down.
Right.
And of course, got to give a shout out to Kyle Connor. Got another goal. He's already at 3 on the season. The guy's just a goal scoring machine.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting to me about all of this?
What's that?
All this offense, this dominant win. But when they showed shots of the crowd, it didn't exactly look like a packed house.
Yeah, and that's the other part of this, right? It's a little strange. They announced an attendance that was, it was well below capacity at Canada Life Center, which is, it's a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, and it's even more surprising when you remember that Canada Life Center. It's one of the smallest arenas like in the league.
Right.
I mean, we're talking smaller than some basketball arenas.
Yeah.
So you'd think a winning team, small venue, tickets would be like impossible to get.
Exactly. It's like, what's the missing piece here? What's going on? Is this a Winnipeg thing? Is this an NHL thing? Like, what's the deal? Well, it's a really good question. And honestly, like, it might be part of a bigger trend. We're seeing it a lot, just across pro sports in general. But ticket affordability it's a real concern. Prices are going up, and it's getting harder for a lot of people to justify going to games. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, just with everything costing more these days, entertainment is usually the first thing to go, right?
Right.
Yeah. But still, it's kind of sad to see those empty seats, especially when, the team is playing as well as they are. Do you think is there a world in which this like impacts their performance, even though they're playing great hockey right now? Does that lack of like a really energetic home crowd, could that actually start to hurt them?
Yeah, there's always a chance, right? When you have a full house, that energy, it really does translate to the ice. And when you're playing in front of a half-empty arena, it can be tough.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that energy shift.
Oh, for sure. And I think it also impacts the team in other ways, right? Like low attendance, it hurts revenue. And that can affect, player salaries, trades, upgrades to the arena.
So it's not just about the feeling in the arena that night. It's a bigger picture issue.
It really is. And Winnipeg isn't alone in this. This is something that a lot of teams and leagues are trying to figure out.
Yeah, for sure.
How to keep fans engaged and keep them coming back.
It's a huge topic.
It is.
Probably a deep dive for another day.
Chuckles, right?
But going back to the Jets here, as much of a statement as this win against the Sharks was, those empty seats, those are a statement too.
100%. I mean, it just goes to show that winning, it's not the only thing. You got to get people excited to come and watch.
Yeah, it's really a tough thing to crack.
It is.
I mean, if we knew the answer to that, every team would have a full house every single night.
Exactly. It's the $1 million question.
Maybe they need to start giving away free jetpacks at the door or something.
There's an idea.
Right.
Get people flying.
But really, it's it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah.
Because you've got this team that's playing some really exciting hockey. I mean, they look like a real contender, right? But at the same time, you've got this other thing hanging over their heads, like, wait, are people even going to show up to watch this?
Right.
It's a strange situation.
It's a weird sort of like, I don't know, contradiction almost, right? It's like they're succeeding on the ice, but then, yeah, you've got this question mark hanging over everything.
Yeah. So I guess the big question is, can they keep this up? Can they get those wins, make a deep playoff run, and will that be enough to bring the fans back?
Exactly. And will it be enough to kind of like change the whole conversation?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not just about what happens on the ice, it's about all these other factors.
Yeah.
The fan experience, ticket prices, the whole thing.
For sure.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this deep dive. The Jets, they're looking good, but those empty seats, they definitely give us something to think about.
Definitely something to keep an eye on as the season goes on.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, keep an eye on those standings, but also keep an eye on those attendance numbers. It'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds.